Hi, I'm Tom Whelan and I'm here to introduce you to the Focus CR. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about the current tilt and space wheelchairs you're using and their designs. Okay? Those would be the Quickie Iris, the Invacare Solera, and the Fuse T50. All of these chairs are what we call a simple rotation design. They are different than the old style Tilton chairs in that they rotate the seat frame about a point. And they're designed so that that point is close to the center of mass of the individual. So you're moving the chair and rotating as opposed to just tilting it. There's two different ways that's done. On the Iris and the Solera, they actually have an arc. And that arc sits on some rollers, and when you pull the trigger it's released and it runs along the rollers and moves the seat about this point, the center of the radius of that arc. So this is our point of rotation in these designs. It's just rotating the seat around this point. On the Fuse, they use a slightly different design. Instead of having an arc, they actually put a hinge point up here at the same point. So the motion of the seat's the same. Now the seat is rotating about this point. So whether you have the arcuate guide or whether you have the single point of rotation, what you begin to quickly see is the seat motion is exactly the same. The advantage of doing this, and the reason why these designs were brought into the marketplace, was to shorten the wheelbase. To shorten the wheelbase, we needed to have that mass of the individual, when they're repositioned, not move. It needed to stay in one place. And by staying in one place, I don't have to make the wheelbase longer to make it stable. There are some other benefits to that. It makes the chair easier to handle. Just like you'd set up any normal chair, you want most of the weight on the rear wheels and some on the front. And you don't want that to change during tilting. So that center of mass can't move. The other thing is improved access. Because it's smaller and narrower, you can get through doorways and do other things with it. It's also easier to handle the mass of the person because you're not moving the mass as far. You don't have that mass to lift and deal with. There's also an effect of being less disturbing because when you move the body with a sense of stability around that body's seated center of mass, it just feels better than being tipped back in something. Okay? Those are the principal reasons why all of the chairs we just discussed and the two different designs were brought into the market. What you quickly realize, though, is that for that to work, there has to be that relationship to the center of mass. If you don't do that, you get some bad things. So for example, if it's really off, and let's say it's really too far back, that the center of mass of the individual is too far back from that center point of rotation we were talking about, when you pull the trigger, the chair is going to want to fall down. It's going to want to drop. And it'll quickly drop all the way down. In fact, it'll go all the way to the stop. And it won't stop till it hits the end of the track or the end of the rotation. Then when you go to pull that person back up, you're actually lifting their weight. So the whole idea of why you design the chair with a center of rotation goes out the window. What that is telling us is that these chairs need to be adjusted properly to function. All of these chairs have some ability to move that center of mass closer to that center of rotation so you can take advantage of the design. Those are the advantages and liabilities of those chairs.